Today, I want to show you how you can completely outsource your digital marketing agency so you can build the business of your dreams and create some real time freedom and a business that you actually enjoy. And this became super important to me back in August of 2017. I had been really heads down in my business for a number of years. I was still a solopreneur. We were starting to see some success, some results. So I told my wife, look, let's book a vacation to Italy. Let's go take a week and a half off. Let's really just enjoy ourselves from all the hard work that we've been doing over the last couple of years. And so I basically put everything that I was doing on my business on hold, and I just took a full 10 days off. And I was in Europe, and so I put my phone in airplane mode, and when I'd get back to my hotel room, I'd connect to Wi-Fi, and I'd check my email, and I'd check, I'm like, man, this is cool. Like, I still made $1,000 a day, or I made $2,000 or $3,000. And I remember it was like day 4 or 5. I was like, man, we still made like $5,000 today. I was like, this is like literally the business of my dreams. I can't believe how amazing this is. But then as days 7, 8, 9, and 10, I'd go back and check my email. I noticed that I was making no money and no money and no money. And that is because I'd completely put 100% halt on my business. And those first few days were just more of a cascading effect of the previous work that I'd done before the trip. But because I had stopped doing all my work and all my activities that were making my business grow, it then started to take effect a little bit later that. And then the craziest thing happened. I got back to work after this vacation, and it didn't just immediately come back. It literally took a good 3 to 4 weeks to get my business back up and running from where it was originally. So I took my 10 days off, plus another 3 to 4 weeks. It was over a month before I had my business up and running like I had it before. So after I saw what happened on this one vacation, I made a commitment to myself that I would change things in my business so that anytime I took a vacation in the future, that I wouldn't have to worry about that I would go and grow beyond myself as a solopreneur, and I would actually start hiring people for key important parts of my business so that even if I took a vacation, even if I completely stepped out, my business would be able to either maintain its growth or even continue to grow even with myself being gone. And fast forward a year later, my wife and I went to a lake on a lake trip, and what I did for the entire week is I put my phone in airplane mode. I left it in our room the entire week. I did not check it once. I didn't even do daily checkups for emails, Slack messages, or anything like that. And guess what? The business continued to run smoothly. So what I want to do in this video is cover the differences of how I was running my business beforehand when I went and took that trip to Italy to a year later of when I took that lake trip, and how you can go through and model exactly what I did, because more than likely, if you're newer into the whole digital marketing agency space, you're running your business like I was originally. As a solopreneur, everything relies on you. If you step away, the whole business comes tumbling down. And honestly, that's not a great place to be in, because then it has a lot of extra stresses on you mentally, physically. It really takes a lot of your time away. If you're on vacation, you're never really on vacation, enjoying time with friends and family. And so I want to be able to go through and break down some of these things so that when you take vacation, you can actually enjoy vacation. And the cool thing about all these strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today is my wife and I were actually just talking about this last night, is you can take a lot of these strategies into other areas of your life. And we were talking specifically about parenting, and I'll share with you guys how we can go through and do that here in just a second. So it all starts out with writing out every single task that you perform on a daily or weekly basis. And you as a solopreneur, you're doing pretty much everything. You're checking emails, you're responding to clients, you're getting new clients, you're doing all these things. So you literally want to write out every single task on a sheet of paper. And then you're going to narrow down out of all those tasks, what are tasks that only you can do? And then what are the tasks that other people can do, but you just need to train them on how to do those specific tasks. So just for a quick example, let's take a look at my YouTube channel. Tasks that only I can do is actually shoot and record these YouTube videos. I can't hire this out to some VA. They can't go through and shoot and share the contents and strategy that I'm sharing right here, right now with you guys. But after I go through and shoot the video, I then normally would edit the YouTube video. And then after I edit the video, I would go upload the video, and I would SEO optimize and do all these different things with the video. Where then I looked at that and I was like, look, I need to shoot the video. I need to record the video because I need to be the one actually sharing the information. but I could probably hire someone else to actually edit the video, right? And then after editing the video, I could probably train someone how I actually upload the video, how I schedule the video, how I actually tag the video, put it in different playlists, and when to go through and publish the video. And so what I've done now is I've gotten this to a point where now I shoot all the content, I upload it into a Google Drive file, I have my video editor go through and edit the video. It does a much better job at editing the video than I ever could. And then they put it into another file where it says, hey, this video has been edited and completed. And then from there, I have another virtual assistant who will take the video, upload it into YouTube, do all the tags, SEO optimize, do everything that I would have done, but I don't have to do any more of that work, so I can focus on higher level strategies. And just to give an example of how this relates to parenting, my wife and I, we now have 3 kids, and we're like, man, it's starting to get pretty busy with all the different things going on. Our oldest is gonna start sports and doing all these different things. And so we thought about all the different tasks that my wife does on a daily basis. Obviously, she helps the kids get up. She takes them to preschool, takes them to different sports. She's got to run her errands. She makes dinner. She cleans up dinner. I actually help out clean up dinner a lot too. But she does all these different things. And I was like, you know what? It would actually be pretty beneficial if we got a nanny or a house manager or even a cook to do a lot of these things that you don't necessarily need to do. They're not the highest priority. Your highest priority as a parent, as a mom, is actually spend quality time with the children. And so I was like, you know what? Let's go through and figure out, okay, if you want to go through and outsource, have some chef or some cook go through and make the meals so we don't have to go through and spend time doing that, or get a house manager to go through and, you know, pick up things or take our kids to preschool, different things like that, or even clean the house so we don't have to clean the house on a weekly basis, because then all this stuff compounds and adds stress, and we're always thinking about these different things, where what matters most is actually spending quality time playing with our kids. So a mentor of mine named Dan Martell recently wrote a book called Buy Back Your Time, and I highly recommend that every single person reads it on this channel. He just released it just a couple of months ago, and I got one of the early copies of the book. But 2 of my favorite strategies that he shared in his book was, first, most solopreneurs, they hesitate to grow beyond themselves. And even my wife, she was like, I don't really want to go through and hire a nanny because, you know, most people can do 3 kids on their own, 4 kids, even people to have 5 or 6 kids sometimes on their own. They don't have a nanny or anything like that. And I was like, you know what? Yes, but you have to be able to let go at some points, right? So in your business, you have to look at different tasks, and you might be thinking, because this is how I thought back in the day, no one can do X as good as me. No one can do this. No one can go and get clients as good as me, fulfill for clients as good as me. However, that is hindering you from actually going through and growing your business. And one of the concepts that Dan Martell shares in his book is that 80% done by someone else is 100% freaking awesome. Meaning, if your ability to do something is 100%, but somebody else's ability is 80%, but they're doing it instead of you doing it, that is the coolest thing in the world, because then you can focus your time, your energy, your efforts on higher level tasks that are actually going to grow your business, make you more money, and actually move the needle. And then the second task that I absolutely love that he shared was actually quantifying how much you should be paying these people and how you know you can actually afford to outsource different tasks. And so what he did is he created a simple equation. And let's just say, for sake of example, you make $100,000 per year, $100,000 net income or profit to your business or to you. That's money that you make as a solopreneur. Well, a typical person's going to work about 2,000 hours in a year. So that's 40 hours a week. Over the course of 50 weeks, you're getting 2 weeks of vacation. So if you divide $100,000 that you make by 2,000 hours, you make roughly $50 per hour. And obviously you can kind of adjust that by how much money you make. So now he says that if you can go through and outsource or pay someone 25% of what you are worth to perform that exact same task, you should outsource it all day long. So if your time is worth $50 per hour and 25% of that is $12.50 per hour, if you can hire someone and pay them $12.50 per hour to perform that same exact task that you do on a daily, on a weekly basis, you should outsource that all day long. Because once again, you can now take that time and you can focus on higher level strategies that are actually going to grow your business and make you a lot more money. Now, the key thing here is always going through and literally making a list, like I said earlier, of everything that you do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And then what I would do is get 2 highlighters of different colors. You could have like yellow and blue, green and pink, whatever the colors are. And then all the tasks that only you can perform, you highlight those one color. And then tasks that you're like, man, this takes me a lot of time to do, but somebody else could easily go through and do them, and I could easily pay somebody 25% of what my hourly wage is worth to go through and perform these tasks. Yes, I might have to train them. Yes, it might take a few weeks for them to get up to speed on how to do the task, but it's going to be a lot better off for me and my business to have more people doing things as opposed to just me, because you remove yourself out of the equation, your whole business comes to a halt. And highlight those different tasks a different color. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to a site like Upwork, or you can go to onlinejobs.ph, or there's a lot of other sites out there, and you're just gonna type in the search and you're gonna find talent to perform the tasks that you want performed. And even looking at this, more recently, I've gone through, like I said earlier, I found some video editors, and I actually went through and I found several video editors. I gave them all sample tasks, sample projects to go through and perform before I decided, okay, this is the person that I want to go through and use, because they actually do a great job. It's up to the quality, the standards that I actually want. And a lot of these tasks, you might have to train them. And unless this person already has an expertise in fulfilling that specific task, you will 100% have to train that person. And be patient. I remember my first hire, I went through and after about a week, I was like, I'm gonna fire this person. They're terrible. They don't do anything nearly as good as me. And then I was like, you know what? I should be patient. Actually, my wife was telling me I should be patient with it. I gave her another week. And then she ended up being one of my best employees in my previous business. So a lot of times, if your virtual assistant or the person that you're hiring or outsourcing the work to is not performing how you would like them to perform, it's not because of them, it's because of you. You have not properly trained them. You have not properly set up expectations, and you've not properly defined a definition of done. What is the definition of done? What does it mean for a task to actually be completed? And once you define those parameters, then it's easier for them to go through and meet those. And if they don't meet them fully, then it's a great learning opportunity. And then after weeks or months, if they're still not learning it or they're still not getting up to speed, then obviously you need to let them go. And nowadays, to save time, I always like to hire 2 or 3 people for the same exact project, because then I'm not training people one-on-one. I'm training people, and I'm training 2 or 3 people at the same time, and then I can weed out people that are not performing how I want them to perform. And out of the top 2 to 3 people, then I'm able to say, okay, this person's the best performer, or in most recent cases, or there's even been times where I hire 3 people expecting only to keep 1, and then actually I have a couple of good performers and I have 2 solid people now that I can disperse the work through, which is really important, because what happens if somebody gets sick, or what happens if they go on vacation, or what happens if something happens to that person, right? So you definitely want to make sure that your business doesn't only rely on you, and also doesn't only rely on one other person. Now, what's going to happen is when you make your first hire, they're going to take off a big portion of tasks that you spent a lot of time on every single week. So now what's going to happen is it's going to be crazy, because you're going to feel like, one, you're going to have a lot of extra free time before realizing, okay, I should be focusing on these other tasks. And then once you focus on these other tasks, then you're able to go reevaluate everything that you do on a daily, weekly basis again, and see, okay, what are these tasks that now that I have the systems down, that I can go through and remove off of my plate. And you're gonna wanna keep doing this every 30 to 60 days to the point where you're focusing on only the core things that you want to focus on, and only the core things that you can do to actually move the needle in your business. And by doing these simple things and doing this on a consistent basis every single month, and reevaluating things and hiring the right people, training them, getting them to the point where they're performing the right tasks, then you're able to create a business that you can actually enjoy, a business that you can take a step away from, a business that you can go on vacation and still have the business grow without you being there on the day-to-day, and without you checking your email and your Slack every single day. So anyway, I hope that some of these strategies helped as far as going through and outsourcing the tasks that need to be done in your digital marketing agency. If they did, go ahead, smash the like button. And if you want my 100% free course on how to start and grow your digital marketing agency, where I share a lot of these different hiring strategies and techniques, what tasks you should hire for first, and how to go through and outsource them, drop a comment down below and I'll hook you up with my 100% free step-by-step marketing agency course. And with that said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.